Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Advanced Technology Institute's summer commencement exercises. We have some graduates who are waiting in the back who are excited, and we're excited for them. I know that all of you are very excited about being here and watching their accomplishments. They've worked really, really hard to get where they are. They're ready to start their new careers, and we know that they're going to be very successful. So if I could have the graduates. If I could ask you to remain standing for our national anthem. Thank you. Very fine looking group here. You're welcome to give them a terrific congratulations. Thank you. And we know our graduates could not be here, could not be successful without the support of their families back home. Sometimes support comes in a lot of different ways. Typically it comes in the form of money. So I'm sure it's well invested, so I am sure you as graduates would love to turn to your relatives and give them a thanks a lot, appreciate it, and a congratulations and a hand clap. There you go. There you go. And as our tradition here at ATI, as our graduates are the only ones that really know what it took to get to this point, to the point of graduating, all the hard work, some of them working and coming to school, some of them coming to school and doing their very best to get to this point. So please turn to your fellow graduates, give them a handshake, and say, way to go. Congratulations. may be seated. Thank you, guys. I'd like to introduce our campus president, Mr. Dick Daigle.
Good afternoon and welcome to our August graduation. I want to thank today's guest speaker, Mr. George Ahrens, who flew in from Texas, took time from his busy schedule to be a part of our graduation today. Mr. Ahrens' career began as an automotive tech in a small independent shop in New Jersey, followed by a career in education which included being an automotive instructor at both the high school level and at the college level. He's been a guest to the government of Oman, where he evaluated the country's automotive programs and made recommendations to the country's senior officials. Working closely with the U.S. Department of Labor, Employment, and Training, he led the Automotive Strategic Development Team, advising the agency's high-growth job training initiative. Beginning in 2005, Mr. Ahrens has chaired the Technology and Maintenance Council TMC SuperTech competition and the Future Technician Skills competition also. Last fall, Mr. Ahrens personally sponsored 4 of our ATI students to attend and participate in the competition, and we truly thank him for that. Currently, Mr. Ahrens is Director of Strategic Development for BASE Air Management. In this position, he works with existing relationships and cultivates new opportunities for his organization. Additionally, he's the Director of Training and Recruitment for the Wheeltime Network, which includes Wheeltime University. He's also an automotive education consultant specializing in NATEF and ASE accreditation. Mr. Ahrens earned his bachelor's degree in business management and marketing from Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He holds ASE certifications in automotive, medium heavy-duty truck, parts specialist, and service consultant. So without any further delay, I introduce Mr. George Ahrens.
Thanks, Dick. It's an honor to be here. When you heard Dick talk about my bio and resume, you think one of two things. One, either that guy is really good or that guy can't keep a job, you know. Thanks, Dick, for allowing me to come back again. For the first time ever, my wife is in the audience. It's kind of exciting. She's never actually heard me speak publicly. She's heard me speak, and very intelligently, like, is today garbage day? Did somebody feed the dogs? Or my ultimate, I'm going out to get wine. Do you need anything, babe? And as Dick said, I started off in New Jersey, but when I was old enough to know better, I left. The best thing coming out of New Jersey is I-95 South. I moved to Texas, and some people say I moved to America. It's actually interesting. I live on the Gulf Coast. We don't have snow, but we have hurricanes. About 8 years ago, we had Hurricane Ike, which came a few years after Hurricane Katrina. And we had a gentleman in our community that decided he wasn't going to leave, and he was going to stay. And boat came by, found him on the roof of his house, and the boat came by and said, hey, jump in. And the guy said, nope, Lord's going to save me. And the guy on the boat said, excuse me? The guy said, Lord's going to save me. So they went off to find somebody else. A little while later, he's a little bit higher on the roof, and another boat comes by. The guy say, jump in. The guy says, don't worry, the Lord's going to save me. Go find somebody else. Well, about 15 minutes later, he's hugging the chimney, and a helicopter flies over and drops the hook, and he says, go find somebody else. Lord's going to save me. And a few minutes later, he's washed away. On his way to the gates of heaven, he looked at Lord and said, Lord, I had 100% faith that you were going to save me. Lord said, I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. What more do you want? Think about it. It's called opportunities. How many of us in our lives have had opportunities not present themselves as opportunities, only to about an hour later, a week later, a month later, to realize, wow, that was an opportunity and I should have taken it? How many of us have prayed to the Lord for something and we didn't get exactly what we wanted, but we realized later he did answer. We just didn't see it. For you graduates, ATI is an opportunity, and they provided you with the skills that you need to go out in the workforce, and that's powerful. And now it's up to you. My Spanish teacher from high school, I love that man to death. I did not learn any Spanish at all, but I learned a lot about life. And he told me water seeks its own level. You are who you associate yourself with. Think about that. And that's important to know, because in today's job market, we hear all the time that there is a shortage of technicians. And I'm here to tell you, there's not. There's a shortage of qualified applicants. They're two different things. You ask most employers, do they have a shortage of applicants or qualified applicants? And they're going to tell you they have a shortage of qualified applicants. And the difference sometimes isn't your technical skills, it's those employability and those personal skills. One of my good friends, two-time U.S. Nationals champion in pro stock motorcycle, Steve Johnson, talks about branding and talks to students all over the country. Each one of us in this room are a brand. Many of us, when we were out in the foyer area before we came in, we looked at people we didn't know and saw groups of people standing together, and let's be honest, based on the color of their hair, the glasses that they wear, their shoes, their purse, or whatever, we made a judgment in our minds about those individuals. And really, it's not until they open their mouth that we remove all doubt if we were right or wrong. But employers do the same thing. And most of the people that are doing the employment these days look like me, gray hairs or no hairs. And the reason we're no hairs is we lived longer than we expected, and the Lord didn't put enough in there for it to come out, so we're just out of hair. But you have to understand, you have the skills, you have the training, you did everything, and now it's time to go out and meet business and industry. And for people like me, I'm a baby boomer. And some of us in the room are baby boomers. The next generation after us is Generation X, right? And they're just mad at the world. Then we have Gen Y, which some of us spell W-H-Y because they ask why about everything. And then we have the millennials that are entitled. But my son is all mad because somebody about a year ago decided to put the Ys together with the millennials, and he says, no, I'm not like them. But we also have to remember that we as parents, we created this generation just like the parents before us. And the biggest problem with this generation is simple. We've been giving them a trophy for last place since they were 6 years old, when we should have said, pick another sport, right? There's winners and losers. When we were kids, somebody won, everybody else went home, right? No big deal, we survived. We also didn't have hand sanitizers in our pocket every day. We ate dirt as a kid and we survived. Can't get over that either. But this generation, the millennials, they're awesome. They just think differently than we do. And let's be honest, this generation doesn't know who shot JR. And half of them are looking at people going, who the heck's JR? The ones laughing knows who JR was. The rest of them going, who is that guy? Think about this. This generation never got up to change the channel on a television. Think about that. But for this generation, we have to understand that whoever you're interviewing with as an employer, you have to understand how they think. And back to my buddy Steve and the branding. Each and every one of you in this room is a brand. And when you go to interview, somebody looks at you as that brand. But before you even get to the interview, nowadays, most companies do a background check. And it's no big deal. I've never been arrested or gotten a traffic ticket. But that's not what it's all about. They're going to your social networks. And back to what I said, water seeks its own level. If your social networks and your Facebook page has a bunch of things that you and your stupid friends did, an employer sees that, they're not taking a chance on you. Also, if you went to your favorite concert or you went somewhere with a bunch of friends and you took a selfie and behind you is 4 thugs and you put it on your Facebook page, I see 5 thugs. Right? Water seeks its own level. We have to understand that technology is our best friend and our worst enemy. This device right here, never bring it to an interview. Never. Nothing's going to happen in the 15 minutes you're in that interview that you need this thing. But I will tell you, if you bring this thing to an interview and you pull it out and you're interviewing with me, I don't care how great you are. I don't need you. Think about that. How many of us in this room have sent an innocent text only to be misunderstood on the other end, and we apologize for the next 24 hours of something we didn't do wrong? It's the same thing on your Facebook page. You post something out there that you think is funny, your friends think is funny, but people that don't know you don't know that. And some poor people have made themselves to the 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock news because of social media. The other thing, too, is Steve talks about the ringtone of your phone that I hear as an employer. If I don't like the ringtone, not leaving a message. If If I don't like the message, I'm not leaving a message. If your email is offensive to me, I'm not leaving a message. So, what is the brand that you want to portray to industry? I would hate for you to get all this education, all this knowledge, and do all this hard work not to be able to get into our industry. And to me, it's our industry. I stand in front of you today and proud to stand in front of you that I started out right out of high school and went to work in a little independent Exxon station. And now I'm in front of you fine people today. The only limitations live within your shoes. This industry has no career ladder. We have a career lattice. And once you have your foundational skills, you can go anywhere in the world and work. And if you like to use that cell phone, Google Tom Purvis. Tom Purvis started as an apprentice in Rolls-Royce. And when I met Tom, he was president and CEO of BMW North America. But BMW has a mandatory retirement age of 60. And at 59 and a half, they're trying to figure out what to do with Tom, but he had to retire. It's company policy. So before he turned 60, they transferred him to another division. That division was called Rolls-Royce. He ended his career as president of Rolls-Royce. There are no limitations in our industry, but you have to get past people like me, the gray hairs and the no hairs in the interviews. You need to make sure that your brand is a brand that industry wants to invest in. And I've traveled a lot in my life. We talked about it earlier. I have 2.2 million miles on an airplane, and I've met a lot of people. And I've only done that because this is my industry and I'm proud of it. My Spanish teacher from my high school also taught me something really interesting, and you're going to find this funny. If you argue with a fool in public, an innocent bystander doesn't know there's a difference. Think about that one. Now, my attorney said if you argue with a fool in public, you're lowering yourself to their level and they have more experience, so I like that one too. I live by 3 simple philosophies in my professional life: undercommit and overdeliver. A lot of people like to make promises they can't keep. We hear it every day. You know what? If you just keep the promises that you make, people don't even expect you to do that, and you're a winner. Never schedule a losing ball game. Always know the outcome before you go in. And most importantly, egos are fat-free and we need to swallow them. It's not about me. You're never going to win an argument at all. And if you argue with somebody in public, and we've all seen people argue in public, we don't know which one's the fool, do we? We just think they both are. And most of the time it winds up on social networks anyway, correct? There you go. So in closing, I want to wish each and every one of you the best in your career. And if there's anything that I can do to help you get down that pathway, I'm more than willing to do that. It's time in my life that I'm passing it forward. This is an industry that's been very good to me and my family, and people are paying me to do something I enjoy. It doesn't get much better than that. All of you, have a wonderful weekend, great career, and travel safe home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ahrens. I'd like to invite our campus president, Mr. Dick Dago, back to the podium for recognition of veterans.
Thank you, Judge, for all your great words. I'm sure they'll be helpful in the future for some of these guys. Hampton Roads is home to more than half the 800,000 veterans, as well as almost 100,000 active duty personnel, making us one of the largest, if not the largest, communities in the country. Because of the large number of veterans in this area, ATI's student veterans make up approximately 50% of our population. ATI is proud to be able to assist these veterans in making the transition from the military to the civilian community. Today, in an effort to recognize our veterans, they are wearing a red, white, and blue cord. You'll see them around their neck. And before we proceed on with our ceremony, I would like all of our veteran graduates to stand. Veterans, Tinge Hut. Let's give these guys a big hand. May be seated. And for all you other veterans out there in the audience, we thank you for your service. So at this time, Chenik Peak will come up and talk.
I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you, graduates, for showing up for classes, most of you, for doing what you are supposed to do. Thank you very much for being students and now graduates at ATI. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the instructors who spend the majority of the time with you and the program coordinators. Instructors and program coordinators, please stand up. Thank you for your great work. Without your dedication and knowledge and heart, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you very much. Mr. Clayton?
Thank you, Mr. Pica. Mr. Daigle talked about the cords for our veterans. As our graduates walk across the stage today, you will notice folks that wear the light blue stoles. Those are folks who have earned an associate degree with our program. And those with the blue cords are folks who have earned honor grads. They are folks who have a 3.7 grade point average or higher. Quite an accomplishment. Way to go. And if now I can have Janet Maddox to the podium for our presentation of graduates.
Good afternoon. If I could have the automotive program students, the graduates, please stand. Alejandro Martinez. Brian Burrell. Daedric Lashley. Tyler Lehman. Brandon Booten. Jagger Ainge. Trevor Wilson. Nicholas Washington. Louise Henny. Sorry about that. Daquan Green. John Jones Jr. Douglas Lawson. Philip Barfield. Delonte Pryor. Timothy Freeman. Rayshawn Jones. Daquan Johnson. Daquan has some fans. Okay. Mohammed Dari. We can congratulate the automotive grads. Would the graduates of the heavy vehicle program please rise? Calvin Levitt. Tyler Brendan Hoddle. Ethan Austin. Robert Campbell IV. Brian Ellis. Matthew Sharp. Adam Loosely. Brendan Barnes. Dennis Long. Join me in congratulating the Heavy Vehicle Program grads. Would the HVAC program grads please rise? George L. Benz. Anthony Ward, Jr. Alan Boise. Ramel Gregory. Kentrell Gregory. Clifford Bussey, Jr. Joseph Taylor. Michael Baller. Dennis Dahlem, Jr. Leonard Casimir. Please join me in congratulating our HVAC program graduates. Would the graduates of the Maritime Welding Program please come down? Johnny Pierce III. Marcus Mario McCaskill. Tyreek Lewis. Etavis Dawson. Sorry. Glenn Moylan. Brock Pietenbrink. Donovan Taylor Kiefer. Courtney White. Marvin Dwayne Neville. You get a little nervous up here. Barry Tyrone Smith, Jr. Joshua Jennings. Hakeem Jones. Christopher Copeland. DeMonte Smith. Destiny Davenport. Daniel Hartless. Nicholas Elwood Bright. Please join me in congratulating our Maritime Welding Technology students.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. I'd like to invite Mr. Dick Daigle back to the podium.
Graduate candidates, please rise. That's you guys, you gotta stand up. Commencement signifies the transition from education to the workplace. Each of you graduates has demonstrated a specific level of your competence in your chosen field of study. This level of competence is appropriately documented by the presentation of a diploma or a degree. To mark the time, honor, and significance of commencement, will each graduate candidate please move their tassel from the left side to the right. By the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia, I hereby confer upon you an Associate of Occupational Science or diploma with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, you're now official graduates of Advanced Technology Institute.